Welcome, lovely one, to the Meant for More podcast. My name's Lisa Clifford, and I am building the world's most empowering Meant for More movement, leading millions of heart-led purpose seekers from feeling insignificant to invincible. So I truly hope you enjoy this next episode. I'm here with Richard Wade, who I would call, he'll die when I say this, well, hopefully not, the health and safety and risk extraordinary is the guru, in my view. You said something about you don't drink anymore.
No, I don't know.
So what, if I may, I mean, I'm
Right.
16, I call it 16 years sober. What was your reason for not drinking?
Interesting.
And
I'm
how
glad
is
you
life?
mentioned that. Well, this is all linked in. So it goes back to this fella, Chris Kirk, actually. So the first networking event in the Gen D was a couple of years ago. That was the first one, actually, at the Bristol Football Stadium. We all pitched up, say hundreds of people. It was brilliant. What a fan. It was really good. Loads of light. Let's come back to the agenda and mention what that's about, because it's really important, actually.
Please.
And anyway, so I'm down at this event, at a fantastic event, all these workshops and people getting helped with housing, mental health issues, job searching, CVs, you name it. It's all about helping people who need help and signposting. That all finished. That was a brilliant day. And then we all go down to the pub, go to the Wetherspoons. And I'm drinking my Guinness and I'm getting a little bit tipsy and everyone's getting tipsy, but not Chris Kirk. And my brain collared that. But he was still having a great time. He was still yakking away. And later on in the evening, we're all drunk, but not Chris Kirk, but he's still having a great time. And I'd noticed, I thought, that's really weird. He's an ex-commando, a bootneck, a Royal Marine commando. And he's sitting there with his flipping orange juice and a little umbrella in it or whatever. We didn't have an umbrella in it, but
Not in Wetherspoons, it didn't.
and that just struck me as quite odd. Anyway, I remember a little while later, I didn't say anything at all, but it had been logged in my memory bank there. And a little while later, we're having some kind of conversation via LinkedIn, and I mentioned it in a message. Oh, I noticed you weren't drinking. I never drink. Never seen the point of it. And that really got me interested. I thought, hang on a minute. There's a roughy toughy commando there, and he doesn't drink, and he's really got his act together. He's the one who's like capable at the end of the night. He knows how to get a taxi. He's first up in the morning, and all. I thought that's quite. Anyway, so I started reading. But now I was drinking quite a bit. I used to love my Guinness and red wine. I love it. I was a professional drinker for 40 years, Lisa. I'm telling you, and I was good. I should have got a medal. Instead, I got a headache and big fat sheets. Anyway, I started reading loads of literature. Quit lit, as they call it, and I started following people on podcasts, and I really started getting an interest in it. I thought, oh, there's something in this. So with my life, regular drinking, and I mean regular, every night I'd have a glass of wine or two, and at the weekends I'd have a good old skinful of Guinness. So I really got thinking about how am I showing up for the world with my family and my business. And the truth of the matter was, I was showing up tired, bloated, and not really on top of my game. That was the truth of the matter. And so I thought, well, you're nearly 60 now, and if you can't, in fact, funny, I'm 59 in 2 weeks' time. So, but I'm nearly 60. That's all I think. I'll get me on my pension when I'm 60. So I've got something to look forward to. So I'm thinking to myself, you're nearly 60 now. So you can carry on having a couple of glasses of wine a night and plenty of Guinness at the weekend. And the outcome ain't going to be you're going to wake up with a six-pack a 10-minute run, or the outcome is you're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and lazier and lazier, and you might have a heart attack. Oh, right. So I had some really serious talking to myself. So I decided, right, well, why don't you stop drinking for a little while and see how you feel? And so I did that. Let me go to, while we're talking, I'm going to go to I've got an app on my phone, by the way.
Yeah.
And so I started just to see how I would feel by not drinking. So in the first week, I felt awful. I couldn't sleep. I had night sweats, and I thought, "Oh, this is horrendous. I'm even more tired now, and I haven't even got a hangover." So it was horrible. And I get to the end of the month, and I'm starting to feel. There was an epiphany. I woke up one morning and I went, "Wow." Well, you probably know because you. I went, "That's what it's like to sleep properly." Then. I'd had the sleep of a baby. And I woke up and I felt so fresh and energized. I thought, wow, this is nice. So I kept it going. And then I started exercising. And then real change in my life started to happen. I found on a Saturday, instead of wanting to do this, that, and the other, and go and have a couple of pints in my club, I'd be playing basketball with my boy Lewis, or we'd be off 11 near a beach. I could be down the beach. I could be kicking a ball. These little things that I now realize I've been missing out on because I was drinking were starting to come into my life, and I was starting to lose loads of weight. I've lost 2 stone, by the way, over the period of time, and my fitness levels have gone up, and the energy that it's given me is just unbelievable, to the point where next week I launch another business next week. We can maybe mention that at the end. It's not about that though, but
tell me what is the business?
Well, I don't want to turn this. I'm really enjoying this. I'll mention it. I'll mention the name and we'll leave it there. It's called mediczone.co.uk. But I don't want this to be about. I want this to be about your theme of change and being.
But it sounds to me like having creating another business is all part of you always looking at how you can improve more, how you can adapt more. But right, back to then your energy, because I totally relate to all of it.
But I'm so glad you mentioned the non-drinking thing, because again, it's one of those. It has been one of those meant for more moments. I didn't know it at the time. I was just going to stop for a few weeks, a month, to see how I feel. Well, and now I will show you my app. This is the app that I use here. It's called I Am Sober.
Oh.
And what you do, it's free, by the way. There is a paid version, but I've never paid for it. And so it sends me it goes, ping, and I go, oh, I Am Sober wants to have a look at me. So I open it up and it says to me, Richard, you have been alcohol-free for 1 year, 3 months, 26 days, 4 hours, 1 minute and 26 seconds, or 27 seconds, or 28 seconds. That bit keeps changing, as you would expect. But then you press another button and it says, oh, guess what? You also haven't spent £4,840 on beer. That's just the beer, not the taxis and the kebabs. But this is the other bit. This is why it's life-changing when you stop drinking. It tells me, Richard, you also haven't sat there drinking Guinness for 2,420 hours. That's 3 months of time not sat guzzling beer. That's 3 months of starting a new business.
It's 3 months of being with Lewis. It's
go to play football or basketball, or decorating, or doing your gardening, or waking up thinking, wow, I feel really fresh today. Yeah. Shall we go? Let's go to the Lake District. Yeah, come on, jump. The other thing is you can always drive, as you know, you can always, don't you, any time of the day or night. This came to fruition when Lewis's chain came off his bike and he wasn't that close. On a Saturday, he wasn't that close to home. Now, normally, he wouldn't have even phoned me because he knew I'd be having a Guinness. So Dad, my chain's come off. I'm on my way. Where are you? Brilliant.
Freedom. I tell you, one of the things that I'm
interested in you now, Lisa.
I would drink every night, and it became a norm that 7 o'clock I would make sure I had 2 bottles of wine in the fridge, one I would definitely drink, and just in case, and I wasn't.
I
And
know what
I would never put my
yeah,
glass down because I had two
yeah,
retrievers. So that is probably why I would never put my glass
yeah,
down.
yeah,
So
yeah,
and what I was doing my first ever motivational talk in 2008. And I thought, I don't feel confident. So I went on a detox for a month to lose weight so that I
yeah,
felt like I would be. And with that, the detox was cutting out salt, sugar, wheat, dairy, eggs,
yeah.
potatoes, caffeine, and alcohol. And at the end of the month, I thought, for as long as I don't miss it, I'm not going to drink it. And that was just my rule. If I don't miss it, I'm not going to drink it. But I'm going to be like really clear with myself about, am I missing it or not? Or is it the alcohol I'm missing, or is it the socializing I'm missing? But like you said, that waking up feeling fresh, I didn't know that that kind of wake up
I didn't.
existed.
I know it's like, oh, that's weird.
And sleeping through the night, like you say, and yeah, and the energy for the next day and the focus. And but what I love the most is I love my freedom.
Yeah,
And so that freedom of being able to jump in a car anytime for
yeah.
anyone, or if I'm going to a black tie dinner, I can say to my friends, I'll pick you up and then I will drop you off. Oh, you can't drop us off. It's there's too many of us. Says, no, that's the perk. For me,
Do a
that's
couple of
the
runs.
perk.
Do what
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
whenever you want. I don't know if you noticed that. The other thing I've noticed, this is me. It's given me clarity and consistency. So that's the key thing. So if I think back to when I was having my Guinness and all the rest of it, I didn't know if I was going to wake up in the morning grumpy, tired, slovenly. I know how I'm going to wake up now, full of beans, rearing to go. I know what I'm doing the next day, and I know I'm going to do it. I've got clarity and consistency, and that's all because of not drinking. I'd advocate it for anybody, but it comes with some funny things, doesn't it? So I still go to my club. They've now got alcohol-free Guinness, 0% Guinness in there for me, and guess what? Loads of other people drink it as well.
Oh, I love
It's
that. I
it's
love
amazing, and how other people react to when you start drinking it is fascinating to me. Fascinating. And and I had a conversation. I'm not going to name the firm. I had a conversation with an associate. He also runs a company like mine, a safety company. And we're chatting away yesterday. Oh, yeah, we should maybe get together for a beer. And I said, I don't drink anymore. And there was like this silence. Oh, he's ex-military as well. That's a bit weird. Oh, it's not weird. It's brilliant. He goes, oh, never. No. And I did the same thing I've just done. You got my app out. And he used my old joke of seconds changing. Blah, blah. That'll never get old. He couldn't get his head around it. But he then did what everybody does. They then tell you how much they don't drink, how they haven't got a problem with drinking. Oh, and I said to him, oh, no, I didn't ask you.
yeah,
I'm not interested. I don't care how much you drink. It's not to do with me. You
yeah.
go fill your boots. I don't care. It's not my problem or issue, and I'm not that interested in your drinking habits. But if they want to tell you how it's very fascinating.
Oh, it is all that people think that people instantly think that I must have had a problem. Now, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I didn't stop because I had a problem. I
Same.
stopped. Life gave me the opportunity and
Yeah,
I ran with it because
you
in my
did.
family,
Yeah,
my mum was an alcoholic, my stepmom's an alcoholic, my dad, my stepsister, my sister. And I had this opportunity where I wasn't missing it. I thought life does not happen like this, does not happen like this. I'm a lucky girl that I am not
yeah,
struggling every day not to have a drink. And so, but then the other thing is I didn't get invited out in the same way as I used to get
yeah.
invited out. My life is much cleaner. I'm not destructive
I
because I
know.
had a
Yeah,
destructive aspect to my nature because of my upbringing and my
yeah,
programming. Um, and I've got a much more peaceful, calm, and quiet life. And I love your app because what your app is reminding you all the time is this is how much value not drinking is worth. So if you
it
think about
does.
drinking, this is what's in
Yeah,
jeopardy. Or
that's
you
very
can,
true.
it's not that you can't, but you can. And I do think it's interesting when people are like, oh, you're not drinking. Well, I won't. Or um,
Yeah,
or the other thing is they say, oh, well, I don't want to tempt you. And I actually get, and I'm going to be honest, I get really annoyed when people think that what they do will influence me.
I know exactly. It's right.
First of all, what you swallow has no impact on me. And secondly, I've got my own reason, my own purpose, and my own value around it that you couldn't possibly make a difference to me.
Exactly. And it's just going back to what I mentioned earlier. It's just being in your own lane. And it doesn't, people, I don't mind, people drink, it doesn't bother me. People get absolutely wasted. It doesn't bother me yet because it's not my business. It's not that I don't care about people. I'm going to that
don't
theme.
Impose.
Exactly, that theme of, look, whatever you're doing, I don't control what you do, think, or feel. So therefore, I'm not really going to let it get any space. It's not living rent free in my head what you do. So it's irrelevant. I'll just get on with my own stuff and do what I need to do. And I think that's the way to look at it. But I'm so glad I did it. I have a funny feeling I will never drink again in my entire life. And the reason I know this to be a fact is because I've been through, as you have, we've been through those key milestones that typically we would associate with drinking alcohol, probably to excess. So I packed in the June. In the August, guess what? Holiday in France. Or before that was red wine, cheese, and beer time. That was really difficult, but I won't lie to you, that was really, really tough. I nearly came close, but I thought I learned to play it forward. Yeah, okay, so you're gonna have a glass of wine. What's the benefit of that? And how are you going to feel tomorrow? And more importantly, you're going to have to set your app back to zero. You're going to have to start all over again. Imagine that now, all those thousands of hours and calories. The thought of it, I didn't mention the calories. You're not going to believe this, right? Guess I'm 968,000 calories that I haven't stuck in me, what used to be my fat face.
Do you know that app is so powerful? It is, what we all need more of is consciousness, isn't it? We all need to be more conscious instead of just letting our mind unconsciously take us in old patterns. And so what that app is brilliant for is just bringing to consciousness. It doesn't take away your choice. It just makes you conscious about your choice. And that idea of, I don't want to reset my app to zero.
Exactly that.
And the other thing is, for me, I think of, will I find it as easy not to miss it if I drink this now? And is it worth it?
No, it's not.
Is it worth it? Or is it just going to be comfortable?
Well, on that subject, there's some brilliant podcasts. The one it's Claire Pooley, and remember the girl called Janie Lee Grace?
Yes, Janie Lee. I've asked to be on her podcast, actually.
Oh, well, she's brilliant.
She's come back to me and said, yes, I just need to book you in.
Do it. Get on there. She says some wonder. I listened to her podcast. She's done loads of books as well. I didn't realise until I started following her on
the Sober Club.
Yeah, Sober Club. Yeah, she was a backing singer in Wham.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then obviously she was on the Steve Wright in the Afternoon show for all them years as well. It was when I was listening to one of her podcasts, I was thinking, why do I know that voice? That voice sounds so familiar. So then one day she said, oh yeah, but when we did the Steve Wright, that's it. She was on the fun facts or factoids, whatever they were called.
Yes. Yeah.
But she always says on some of her stuff that just because you stop drinking, life doesn't really, well, it does change, it gets better. But going out with your friends, just carry on doing what you're doing. Don't change the recipe, just change the ingredient.
Yes, that's a brilliant
take away the booze and put in a 0% Guinness or a whatever, and you still have the same amount of fun, but it's even more fun. It's just so much more fun. So I know now, and I still go and drop in the club, not that often, I must add. Normally out doing something more productive with my time now. But when I do pop in there, it's probably going to make me sound like a conceited bozo, but it's true, so I'm going to say it. As I'm entering the door, I know where they're going to be, and I know who's going to be hungover and drunk, talking the same stuff they were talking last Saturday. So I'll pop in and say hi and have a little chat, and then I get abuse from one of the guys. I won't name him. I won't even name what he does because everyone will know who it is. Oh, are you still not drinking? You're no fun. You've never been fun. You're not fun. I said, you've never been fun, sober or drunk. At least I've got a fighting chance because I can drive home afterwards to get away from you.
And that's what I love as well, is that being able to leave somewhere anytime you like, and everything. The world is, everything's much freer, isn't it? But
It's true.
one of the things I used to do for years, and I've stopped doing it now, is saying to people and say, oh, we'll go for a glass of wine, instead of just saying, yes, that'd be lovely, and then ordering something that I want when I'm there. I used to say, oh, I don't drink, which meant that they stopped inviting me because I don't drink.
Right. Yeah.
So now I think everybody knows I don't drink because I bloody told them. But
you get used to it after a while, and it's interesting that your groups. I've noticed this. So the people that you used to, and this is me I'm talking about, the people that I used to be surrounded with and associated with has changed. And your true friends, they're around. What's the saying? Those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter.
Oh, it's so true.
Exactly. So I find myself operating in a different way now. But boy, oh boy, it's so much better.
I remember when I was at, and this is for anybody that's thinking that they might want to stop, I guess. So I was away on holiday. It was more of it was at Juicy Mountain, which is a juicing retreat. And so everybody had gone. They were like saying, oh, I can't wait to have a glass of wine. And somebody else was saying, oh, I might try and give it up for a month. And I would say, well, I've done it and it's easy. What they would then do that I think would trip them up is they start thinking, well, I've got to drink because I'm at that wedding, or I'm going to that and I can't imagine not drinking. That'll be really hard. So they started future projecting difficulty.
Setting the failure. It's that mindset again, isn't it?
Instead of just thinking, I'm just going to be in the now. I'm just going to go and be in the now. And you can only ever make a decision in the moment. You can't make a decision in advance, because I'm a big believer in checking in with yourself and thinking, does this still feel right for me? What do I want? Oh, darling, we could talk, and I think we should do.
I've enjoyed that.
An episode 2, and I think we will focus on episode 2 on mindset.
Absolutely.
Creating a meant for more future-proof mindset, because I love your disciplines around the mind and how you use it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you would like to be involved in the Meant for More movement, then please drop me a line at lisa@lisaclifford.co.uk. Whether that's you're interested in being on the podcast, taking part in any of the trainings, or would just love to know how you can help empower others, then let's have a conversation. Thank you for listening, and we'll connect again very soon.